Your best friend. Your person. The one who holds your mess, finishes your sentences, feels less like a friend and more like a limb. But what happens when another secret takes root? A secret you have to hide from him. When the quiet you've shared for a decade starts humming with pressure. When every inside joke turns electric and every casual touch snaps like static. For 10 years, he was my anchor. Now he's the storm. This is what it looks like when the safest person you have becomes the one thing you can't say out loud. For 10 years, Noah was the constant. A whole decade. The two of us trading jokes no one else understood. Late night calls that fixed nothing but made it bearable. Knocking on each other's doors with takeout when the day fell apart. He was the first person I called about my promotion, the only face I wanted after my dad's funeral. Our friendship had its own language. Shorthand, quiet, a rhythm we didn't have to think about. It was the easiest thing I knew. We built our lives around it. Our friends weren't mine or his. They were just ours. Our apartments sat 10 minutes apart, a path we could walk blind. He carried my fears and failures. I carried his. It felt safe, solid, the kind of comfort that survives the comings and goings of everyone else. Noah and Liam, Liam and Noah, an institution. In our 20s, we played wingman, fumbling through the dating world together. We'd edit each other's risky texts, offer shoulders after the inevitable crashes. He listened to me complain about guys who weren't quite it. I listened to him talk about men who didn't see his quiet strengths. Those talks always ended the same, shared sigh, then his soft, "Well, at least I've got you." I'd nod, warmed by something I insisted was just friendship. It had to be. Deep, sure, but platonic. There was a line, and for 10 years, we never even skimmed it. We had the perfect friendship. I couldn't picture a world without him, exactly as he was. The shift wasn't sudden, no lightning, just a slow change of weather. You don't clock until breathing feels different. It happened on a Monday. Ordinary. Late fall. Rain tapping steady. We canceled on friends and stayed in. A movie we'd seen a dozen times. A bottle of wine too good for a weeknight. We were on his couch, tucked under one blanket. The movie just noise. He was venting about a project at work. I was listening and watching. The TV's dim light traced his jaw. His hand raked through his hair, the way it always did when he was stressed. I'd seen it 1,000 times. This time it landed different. The space between us, usually easy, started to buzz. He stopped mid-sentence and looked at me. The question in his eyes matched the one pounding in my chest. My heart went hard and fast. He didn't speak. His gaze flicked to my mouth, then back to my eyes. In that small, charged silence, 10 years of rules loosened and fell away. Slowly, as if asking permission with each inch, he leaned in. My mind split open, panic, and a bright, terrifying hope. This is Noah, my best friend, my rock, the line we do not cross. Then his lips met mine, soft at first, then carrying a decade of unsaid things, and the panic broke like a wave. What rushed in felt like finding a doorway home I hadn't known to look for. When we pulled back, breathless, the movie kept playing, but our world went still. We'd had a million moments, but this was the first that took our words. We had just lit the only home I'd ever known, and all I could think was, I want to watch it burn. After that, weeks blurred, bliss braided with fear. Behind closed doors, a new world opened. A kiss stolen while the kettle warmed. His hand finding mine under a cafe table, waking to his quiet breathing. The ease of our friendship turned into something raw and defenseless that left me shaky. He wasn't just my best friend anymore. He was the man who saw all of me and didn't flinch. For the first time, I felt fully known, fully loved. But then the door would open, and we'd step back into the life everyone else expected. The fear crept in, cold and precise. Around people, it became a performance, putting space between us that felt like a canyon. I overanalyzed everything. Am I standing too close? Did that joke sound too intimate? Did anyone notice the way he just looked at me? The secret thrummed under my skin, constant. Every stolen second was a win. Every shared look in front of friends, a risk. Chloe asked once, "You two have been quiet lately. Everything okay?" And panic washed me clean. We made a tiny language of nods and quick touches no one else would catch. It was thrilling to have a world just ours. It was exhausting to carry. The best thing in my life had to hide in the dark, and the weight of it was both spark and stone. We were walking a tightrope, and we weren't going to balance forever. Secrets like this leak. Pressure was building. It finally broke on our annual cabin trip, a tradition of 6 since college. Bonfires, hikes, old stories. For Noah and me, it was a minefield. 3 days on high alert. That first night was thick with tension. We were painfully aware of the invisible string between us. I caught Chloe watching more than once. She noticed Noah hand me my favorite mug without asking. She noticed how my eyes tracked him across the room. Tiny things, once invisible, suddenly felt like spotlights. The next day, after a long hike, we sprawled across the living room. Noah sat on the couch, leaning against me. Without thinking, I rested a hand on his shoulder, a gesture I'd made 100 times. Friendly, harmless, except it wasn't anymore, and I think Chloe knew. I saw it in her face. Not anger or shock, just a quiet understanding arriving. That evening, the air went gauzy with tension. Across the bonfire, we shared a panicked look. Lines were blurring. Later, I was in the kitchen getting water when Chloe slipped in and closed the door soft. Her face was calm, kind. She leaned on the counter and let the silence sit until my heart felt too loud. Then, with 10 years of friendship in her eyes and something searching, she asked, "Liam, are you and Noah hiding something from me?" Pause. End on a lingering shot of Liam, pinned by the question, looking at Chloe. If you're curious about what happened beyond this moment, I've shared the extended continuation of this story in my Ko-fi library, a longer audio edition for those who want to dive deeper. You might find something there that stays with you long after the story ends. Make sure to subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you would do in the same situation.
Time can never be your trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments spent, 1,000 hellos and